A sizable update is dropping inside of Diablo Immortal this week, December 17th, that is Wednesday, and I received all of the details of this update early so I could analyze it and then share all of the information with you. I'm going to be skimming through things that may have come in the early patch notes last week and diving deeper into the things that are really informative. But before we get there, I want to talk to you guys quickly about how you should be preparing for this update, because there's something important. So if we take a look inside of the game right now, it is Monday. Notice my bar on the bottom is green. I'm going to be able to get more experience from anything that I do because I'm below server Paragon by 2 levels. Typically on Mondays, I collect all of the things that I've been saving in my mail, and I collect anything that I've been saving from my battle pass rewards as well. Notice I've actually been saving for the entire month. I haven't been collecting any of my rewards. What you're going to want to do is claim all of these after the update drops on Wednesday. You're not going to want to do it today because we're going to be getting a big server Paragon bump. That's right, the server Paragon is going to be jumping by approximately 30 levels, and you're going to want to catch up. So you may as well hold on to all of these rewards until you're further below the server Paragon level, and you'll be able to get even more of a bonus because of your deficit. On top of that, doing any events that you could benefit from being of higher level, you may want to hold off on until midweek. That's at least what I plan on doing with my clanmates and my warband. But now back into the patch notes, and we already know of the new main quest that's going to be coming, completing the Charvel Wilds. We discussed that previously. If you missed that video, you can go check it out on the channel because I have all the details there. You're going to be continuously fighting Albrecht and diving deeper into the Charvel Wilds. Now, we have more information on these ancient legendary items, and this is actually really good information. We now know that we're going to be able to craft an ancient chest plate along with our ancient helm, and it says in here that it still is going to cost you 100 ancient artifacts to craft this. So the question that we had was, well, we can't craft 100 for the helm, 100 for the chest, and then eventually one day as we get other pieces, 100 for everything, because there's just not going to be enough time to get all the resources. Keep in mind, you can also have these items drop in things such as helliquary raids, helliquary gauntlets, Vanguard, Hellslayer bounties, Oblivion pillars, and Terror rifts. So maybe you'll get lucky. I still never have gotten lucky to have one drop, and I run a lot of those things. But here is more information that we did not have before. In the future, we plan to continue introducing types of ancient legendary equipment slots. However, each time a new slot is added, the oldest slot will be removed simultaneously, ensuring that a maximum of 2 ancient legendary equipment slots can exist at the same time. Ancient legendary equipment and artifacts no longer drop in Inferno 7 through 9, and crafting ancient legendary equipment for Inferno 7 through 9 blacksmith has been disabled. Low difficulty ancient artifacts can now be exchanged, not enchanted, exchanged for ancient scraps for enchanting ancient legendary equipment with a weapon smith. Big information there. We're going to be able to have 2 ancient pieces of gear at a time. So what my thought here is, now when they go and they give us a shoulder that's ancient legendary, there will no longer be helms available. And then they'll move on to the legs, and then the chest plate will no longer be available. But you'll still be able to, I think, wear the ones that you've already crafted in the past, which are probably still going to be better for a while than things you'd be able to find from playing the game and just your standard drops. We got the 3 new legendary gems, and there are some values alongside of them, so let's go through this. Previously, they did not share any values. Keep in mind, these patch notes that we're looking at here were delivered to me early, so things could be changed slightly from what we're seeing here. Time will tell, and if that happens, I'll be sure to let you know. Dealing damage grants you rampant growth for 6 seconds, causing brambles to grow beneath the enemy's feet that deal damage to them. Brambles deal damage to nearby enemies equal to 10% of your maximum life and can only be triggered once every second per enemy. Additionally, the brambles shatter enemy armor, increasing the damage you deal to them by 4% for 2 seconds, stacking up to 6 times. When the enemy is first struck by the brambles, they'll be immobilized for 1.5 seconds, and rampant growth can only be gained periodically. Resonance gems, Maw of the Deep, Blessing of the Worthy, Spectre Glass, Mercy's Harvest, and Iron Vein. I actually really like that they share that with us. So those are the details, a little bit more in depth, of the 5-star gem. We also have the 2-star and the 1-star gem as well. Actually, yes, the 1-star gem is there also. The Rampart Torch, very defensive gem if we recall. When attacked, you gain a protective shield for 6 seconds that reduces the damage you take by 1% of your base damage and reduces the continual damage that you take. Can occur more often than every 20 seconds. It's a meh gem. Then the Resonance gems are Power and Command, Stubborn Oracle, and Misery Elixir. Then for our 1-star gem, the Flaystone, you deal an increased damage and gain increased crit hit chance against only shielded enemies. Another meh gem. Resonance gems are Pain of Subjugation and the Trick Shot. Now, of course, we have the new helliquary bosses coming. I believe there's 3 of them. Flesh, we have one, which is Bloatmaw, Marrow Mount, and Sundred Goliath right here. I don't need to go into more details of that, but there's going to be new helliquary gauntlets, and older helliquary gauntlets are going to be available to play for longer. That's the summary on all helliquary bosses. Of course, we have new Inferno difficulties dropping. It's about time, my friends. Inferno 10, 11, and Inferno 12. And you could see alongside of the Inferno difficulty, the Paragon requirements. Also, the combat rating requirement, what we can tell from right here, for 10, 11, 12 is 58,500 combat rating recommended for Inferno 12. So 3 new difficulties. Actually, they have all the details right here. World and Dungeon, and they give you the World and Dungeon combat rating and the Challenge Dungeon. Let's just go with regular World combat rating. 52.5 for Inferno 10. For Inferno 11, it's 56.7. And for Inferno 12, it's 58.5. And you unlock the helliquary boss that goes along with that Inferno difficulty. Additionally, the requirements for Inferno 9 are being lowered, where the combat rating for World is 49, and for Challenge Dungeons, it's 49.7. And here's the important part that I was talking about when I was giving you the tips in the beginning. Server Paragon levels for all servers will also be raised to 1,200. So we're at 1,700 right now, I think. Was it 16 or 1,700? I think it was 1,600. No, 1,160. So we're going to be getting 30 to 40 levels in that jump, which is why you want to save your experience to be able to get that quicker growth on your account. Because again, there's going to be other things that are going to help you and assist you with that. Here, look at this. Look at these bonuses right here. Players at Paragon level 0 through 600 will receive a 1,500% experience bonus with an additional 2 levels gained for each Paragon level gained. Nice. Then what you could take a look at all of them, but players at Paragon levels 1,150 and above the server Paragon level requirement receive 100% to 800% experience bonus. You will level up very quickly if you have saved up your resources in your mail and your battle points that I always preach here on the channel. It's something I am always doing. Now, we have the Dark Corrupts Heroes of Sanctuary. If you didn't hear about these are enemies that you're going to encounter in, I believe it was the open world and in dungeons, but they are going to act more like a real player. So it's a new character model they're using that basically replicates the way players fight in PvP. It's going to be a bigger battle, it's going to be more difficult, and it's going to drop a legendary piece of gear when you encounter them. So you'll want to take on those fights. And you know it, Brumaltine returns. We knew this was coming, and I'm happily excited for it. Basically, you're going to have 14 days of rewards. West March is going to be beautifully decorated for a hell-ridden Christmas. And 14 days of rewards, you're going to also be able to craft and send your cards. So be ready for those red envelopes coming through. You get rewarded for getting them, and you get rewarded for sending them. Be jolly and send them to your clanmates and to others. So that's going to be cool. I'm excited always for the new events. We have the Cutthroat Basin coming as well. The Lich King raises his fist to strike down Sanctuary's bravest in another display of his mighty prowess. So from December 24th, this isn't coming as the update drops. Many of these things will be time gated. Through the 6th of January, the Cutthroat Basin returns in a re-imaging of Conqueror. Prepare to quench your weapon of choice in the blood on your enemies in this intense limited time PvP style mode. I love it. Yes. You can earn illustrious horde flags by dealing 15,000 damage across the event and raise the mighty banner of the Alliance flag by earning 5,000 points in an event. So it looks like you're going to be able to get those flags that you could wear in your back. I loved those. I thought they were a really great cosmetic. Unfortunately, they were limited time, but they're coming back, which is sweet. New legendary items and balance changes. So we have a new set, which is called the Restitution in Blood. The set tells a very grim fairy tale about a noble from Ensteig who thought himself a trophy hunter and set out, I hate reading the lore, and set out with his party to hunt the mythical nature spirits of the Charvel Wilds. What he learns is the trespass and aggression is not taken lightly in the deep woods, and the Fae do not forgive his transgressions, the cost of which is paid only in blood. All right, that's not really that important, to be honest with you. We have this new set. 2 set pieces give you this set property. Dealing damage to an enemy applies Fated Prey for 2.5 seconds, increasing the damage you deal to them by 35%. Fated Prey cannot be applied to more than 4 enemies at once and cannot be applied to the same enemy more than once every 15 seconds. Actually, more damage seems pretty good. 4 pieces, Fated Prey ends. It deals additional damage, increasing by 4% for every 1% of enemy's life missing, up to a maximum of 460% when the enemy is at or below 25% life. And if you do decide to wear a 6-piece, when Fated Prey ends, if the enemy is below 50% life, they're also inflicted with blood depth for 4 seconds, reducing their healing and absorb shields by 35%. Killing an enemy afflicted with Fated Prey or blood depth will heal you for 50% of your maximum life. And the healing can't trigger more than once every 40 seconds. And there are all of the items that you can get. This definitely seems like a powerful set and one that deals some damage. Now, of course, with every big update like this, you know to expect new essences for each of the classes. And to conserve your time, I'm not going to read through all of them. What I'll do is I will just pause, and you guys can pause the video and read through the class that affects you, the one that you're playing. So here are the new Barbarian essences, the new Blood Knight essences, Crusader, Demon Hunter, Druid, Monk, Necromancer, the Tempest, and Wizard. All right, now that we got through all of the essences, and maybe I will do another video going through them a little bit more in depth, I'm unsure. We also have updates, balance changes to some of the classes. These I will go through. There's not a ton, but a few classes are getting some changes. They'll be effective everywhere across Diablo Immortal. The Barbarian, Cold Temper, Hammer of the Ancients, reworked to gain an absorb shield equal to 10% of the maximum life when hitting a frozen enemy, stacking up to 30%. And Snow Drifter from Sprint, the chilling effect can now stack up to 3 times, at which point enemies will freeze. I'll tell you what, I am playing Crusader inside of the game right now. I've been missing my Barbarian. I'm wondering what's going to happen there. Demon Hunter has a few changes. Fume Threads, Smokescreen, grenades deal 20% increased damage with each subsequent hit on the same target in a short period of time, up to a maximum of 40% increased damage. And Supply Everlasting, Spinning Chakram, enemies hit by a chakram on both the outbound and return flight take an additional 40% damage. We have 2 more classes being affected by balance changes, being the Blood Knight and the Tempest. For the Blood Knight, Skin Upon Steel or Transfusion, the life recovery converted to shield value rate has been modified so that you gain more shield value at a lower life and slightly less at a higher life. For example, at 20% life, you convert 100% life recovery to shield value, but at 100% life, you'll convert 50% life recovery to shield value. And for our Tempest, we have 2 changes. Paired Doublet, Flowing Strike, both the Mark and Lightning Slash will apply shock status, and Spark Skull or Zephyr Surge. You're now untargetable during the dash, and exploiting shock status, exploiting shock status, I'm sorry, it's early guys, with the dash will deal an additional 100% damage. And some legendary items, Chaps of the Acrobat. If escape breaks you out of total loss of control, silence or knockback effect cooldown is increased by 3 seconds. Now we do have a couple of items coming, and as you can see, these patch notes were early, which is why some of the assets are not in place right here. It's okay, it doesn't matter. We have the Pillage of the Forsaken Kingdom coming, which is an event where you're going to gain rewards that you can then use to purchase gold, enchanted dust, legendary items, things like that. Maybe some telluric pearls, maybe a legendary crest. That will be nice. And then we have the Ruin and Reprisal Phantom Market, and I actually do have this asset to share with you. Here you have it, guys. 2 different cosmetics, both going to be available during this Phantom Market cosmetic event. Let me know which one you like better, if you like them at all. What I do like is that there is a Phantom Market that focuses on World of Warcraft. Again, this is the Ruin and Reprisal Phantom Market, and you know that these are typically, as always, going to cost 170, but with 2 cosmetics here, I'm not sure how it's going to run. If it's going to be you choose one, you have a chance of getting one or the other. I doubt there'll be a chance, or you can even get both of them. Actually, confirmation. Let me share this with you because I actually have the answer to that. And it is, and it actually states it right down here, which I didn't read prior. In male form, you will be viewed as the Lich King. In female form, you will be viewed as Sylvanas Windrunner. So if you're a male, you are going to be the Lich King and there's no other option. If you're a female, you're going to be Sylvanas. There's no other option. You could, of course, go to the barber and change gender to get the other look at the cosmetic. Which one do you like better? And Winds of Fortune have returned. Keep in mind, this is going on from December 18th, the day after the update drops, through December 24th. But you don't want to hold on to battle pass items and things like that, because at that point in time, the battle pass will expire. So make sure you do your battle pass things before this drops. Also, it's going to be coming back again from the 1st through the 15th of January as well. Basically, you're getting twice the experience, gold, battle pass points, normal gems, legendary items, and items from all of these: the bestiary, challenge rifts, bounties, fishing, dungeons, purge the depths, accursed towers, hidden lairs, farming in zones, and codex activities. It's always a great time. This is a great event where you can basically just get a boost up on all of your experience gain. The new battle pass also is dropping on the 18th of December, and it's called Dance the Grimfrost Masquerade. It's going to end on January 15th. So as always, just a little bit, a hair under a month. Now we are getting into the feature updates, things that are changing overall in the game, starting with the Prodigy's Path. We've mentioned this before. Essentially, all aspects of Prodigy's Path are being reduced, and the related values and offerings will slightly increase. So basically, instead of the Prodigy's Path, and this is how I see it, being 45 days long, which is how it is now, which is a little wonky, with everything else being a 30-day battle pass, a 30-day event, this one was 45. My assumption is they knock it back down to 30 days. They make it cost a little bit less. Whatever's equal to the time, taking off probably a third of the price. And it looks like they're going to slightly increase what you get from it, which is actually very welcome. They're going to be updating several legendary gems, including Viper's Bite, Seeping Bile, and Everlasting Torment. The total, now, I have a high level for my account. It's a rank 6 Seeping Bile. I like hearing this. Maybe the Seeping Bile is going to have some validity and can make its way back onto my character. To limit the total duration of loss of control, these gems shared cooldowns between players wearing the same one. If another player applies the corresponding debuff to an enemy for these gems, it will no longer prevent your gems from being applied to that enemy, which is nice. Your gems will now correctly respect your own gems' internal cooldowns and not impacted by other players. That should have been the case all the time. At least now it's being done. The main functions of these gems is to provide damage, so this setting meant less uptime for these effects in other players who had the same ones equipped, which wasn't a great feeling. So it's not actually buffing how they are if you were doing anything solo, but if you were doing any damage with someone else who also was utilizing those gems, your damage was being nerfed. Blessed Hunter event extension. They keep extending this, and I love it. It's going to now be extended through the 23rd of February. So enjoy those blessings. And we do have better set items, increasing the drop rates for higher quality set items and increasing the chances of crafting higher quality set items. I'll tell you what, this entire season I have been crafting and crafting, trying to get myself a nice bracelet that was just perfect, and I was not able to get it. So happy to see that better set items will be dropping. We also have Heraldric Bestiary additions. 9 new pages of the bestiary have been added. So if you like lore and you like putting together your encyclopedia of all of the evil in the game, the bestiary additions are happening. Now we also have things coming for Helliquary Gauntlet, December 17th through February 23rd. Prove yourselves in Sanctuary's true champion by defeating horrific monstrosities in the next Helliquary Gauntlet. All right, so we have Inferno 10, 11, and 12. Combat rating requirement, 56.7, 58.5, and 60k, but we already know that it's not just on your combat rating. Specifically, when you get to Inferno 12, it is a very hard fight that a lot of people need to be carried through. So your rewards for doing this, as well as, you know, and it shows you the bosses that you fight in each of them, but the rewards are going to be for Inferno 10, a cosmetic weapon, cosmetic armor for 11, and the portal for 12. All right, very similar to what we've seen. First clearance team display. Following this Helliquary Gauntlet, the first 10 teams to clear all difficulties will be featured in the first clear leaderboard. The first team to clear all difficulties will also unlock the first clear rewards for all players on the server. Oh man, that's nice. Added Party Finder functionality. You can now quickly open Party Finder using the Find Raid button to create a Helliquary Gauntlet post or find a post to join an existing Helliquary Gauntlet raid. Definitely pushing, getting forward and moving forward with getting bigger parties together. Demonic reforging. I'll tell you, my whole Helliquary stuff has been pretty maxed for a long time, so this is cool. Once the Helliquary has reached level 70, which many players who've been playing since day one are at, or and have been for a while, you'll gain access to demonic reforging, which allows you to re-roll all the stats at one time on the demonic remain. The demonic remain's individual attributes values will be locked to the item's Paragon level, but the quality of the values on the item have a chance to increase with each reforge. So that's actually nice. You're gonna be able to try and make those better. Basically, your demonic remains, just something else you could roll. It's also worth noting, once an item has increased its quality, any new attributes rolled on the remainder can never roll at a lower quality, which is actually nice. Cross-server dungeon matchmaking in beta. Notice they're trying to do more and more of these cross-server events. This is going to be a limited time beta test between servers in Oceania, Japan, and Korea. This should help matching together when entering dungeons and improving matchmaking during areas when the population is low. Due to initial technical limitations, you won't receive items or experience in a real time when you're playing a dungeon. Ooh, but it'll be granted after. This feature will be disabled by default. You can manually opt in through the dungeon menu after receiving the beta notice. So I have a bunch of friends over in Oceania, and the problem is it's such a small cluster, and apparently they are dealing with struggles not having other players to play with. So being able to bring them together is going to hopefully have less queue times and just allow for more things. But that is, having a delay on experience and stuff kind of stinks, but as long as it comes, I guess it's not the biggest deal. And if it comes to your mail, that may actually even be better, so you can claim them on Mondays and get more experience for them. They also added some tutorial and UI improvements. I don't typically care about this stuff so much, but I know there is a community of people who very much do. You can adjust the transparency of combat values, so if you don't want it to be big and bold, you can lighten it up. You have the option to combine continuous damage stacks into one value that increases. Add an option to turn on directional damage. When enabled, damage numbers will float towards the direction of impact for more targeted feedback. Actually, I kind of like those. Those are kind of cool. You can clean it up with less numbers. You can have numbers that are less bold and kind of hidden a little bit more, and then the values can go in the direction of damage. Kind of cool. We also have some new Paragon trees coming, and I'm going to share all of them with you right now so you can see exactly what they're like. This one here is Legendary Skill. Damaging a burning enemy applies Searing Flame, damaging them every second for 3 seconds. Searing Flame's damage is increased for each additional burn of an enemy, up to a maximum of 3 burns. Enemies slain while affected by Searing Flame unleash a fireball at an enemy at other nearby enemies that explodes on impact, dealing damage to all nearby enemies. Searing Flame cannot inflict the same target more often than once every 15 seconds. Again, that is a legendary skill, and even if it's not one that you choose to use, the Paragon points that you've been accumulating, you're probably at, if you're, playing at a high level, you probably have like 20 or so of those to spend already. You'll be able to drop some in here and get some of the buffs from that, even if it's not a legendary skill you plan to use. But we have more. We have Glacial Shards. Chilling an enemy grants you 1 Glacial Shard, stacking up to a maximum of 6. Damaging an enemy with your primary attack unleashes all Glacial Shards at the enemy, damaging and chilling them, reducing their attack and movement speed by 60% for 3 seconds, and it can't be unleashed more than once every 15 seconds. And then we have Brewing Storms. Shocking an enemy conjures a brewing storm above their head that unleashes a lightning strike after 3 seconds, damaging the enemy. Shocking enemies afflicted with brewing storm charges up the storm, increasing the damage it deals, and if the enemy is shocked X times, the brewing storm will become fully charged, unleashing the lightning strike immediately, stunning the enemy. And this also can happen once more every 15 seconds. I actually like that one for some of those wizard builds that have a lot of lightning in them. All right, let me know what you think of those new legendary Paragon skills, if they're ones that you're going to consider using. Hero's Journey's got some updates. Chapters 1 through 6 will reset. You'll be at chapter 1 again to begin a brand new quest. Complete them to earn Scorching Hellbent Hero Frame. Chapters 1 through 4 will be available on release. Challenge Rift Season 16 starts on the 17th and goes to the 23rd. Challenge Rift Season 16 commences. Rifts 631 through 650 will be lowered. So if you're at a point right now in your challenge rifts when you can't go one more level because your combat rating is stuck and you just can't push through it, it's going to get easier, and you're going to be able to then push through once this update drops. Probably get yourself another 5, 10, 15, 20 additional levels on your challenge rift, which means you'll get more resources to upgrade your green items. The Immortal Age, introducing Gold Rank 5. We're expanding the possible Immortal Age by introducing Gold Rank 5, which becomes available after reaching Gold Rank 4 and earning an additional 5 million dominance points. This change raises the maximum Immortal Dominance, giving you a higher ceiling to continue proving your power and prestige. Spectral Allies AI changes. They're going to now stop teleporting to you when they have died and now divide into groups to attack multiple targets simultaneously depending on the fight. Basically what they're doing is making the Spectral Allies less dumb. Party recruitment and matchmaking optimizations. Updating the recruiting page to make it faster, clearer, and more effective to find the right players. A few activities that don't really benefit from the recruitment have been removed and full parties will no longer appear. So they're cleaning that up a little bit as well. Essence Mastery changes. Essence Mastery is being removed, and instead the max rank benefits of Essence Mastery will be provided to you once each individual skill, once it has reached max rank while leveling up. Let me read through that again so it's a little bit clear. So the mastery that you get from your essences, when you get them, you start like ranking up the mastery to get that top rank, and you get that little extra bonuses. Instead, the max rank benefits of Essence Mastery will be provided to you once each individual skill is reached max rank while leveling up. So it looks like you're going to be able to get them a little bit more frequently and a little easier. This is now referred to as Mastery Bonus, showing you've mastered the technique of that skill. It features a new icon and some functionality to explain the bonus. Functionally, it should be the same as Essence Mastery without the grind to finish Essence Mastery. Okay, so what they're saying is we should be getting it easier, being able to get those bonuses easier than having to do the entire mastery. The curse is lifted on cursed items. Beginning with the major update, newly dropped items will no longer include cursed attributes. Additionally, the system will no longer distribute purification shards. Cursed items are going away. To try to preserve the gameplay depth previously tied to cursed equipment, we've introduced a brand new cursed Paragon specialization. The cursed Paragon specialization. These will only feature the 3 most popular cursed effects: lashed, nettled, and vexed. Okay, nettled is one I used a lot. I'll miss ghosted. These contain nodes that will grant the full effects of the former 2-piece, 4-piece, and 6-piece cursed sets. This also includes the new passive nodes to improve various combat attributes, inspiring some hefty building craft. Now, I don't know how we're going to wear this, but it seems that nettled, lashed, and vexed are going to be available to us in some way that we can add to our build without it being a cursed property on a piece of gear. Once the cursed Paragon spec is activated, any cursed attributes previously found on equipment items will immediately become inactive. So it's going to be like a click of a button or something where you're going to be able to utilize these cursed effects. Interesting. Wondering why they did that. Transitioning existing items and material. All cursed items obtained before the update can be salvaged into upgrade material. Purification shards can now be exchanged 1-to-1 for dust. Okay, I actually have a ton of those. War games and battlegrounds updates, which I love. War games, man. We're adding both of the current existing battlegrounds to war games. Given that we'll need to tell the 2 apart, they'll both be getting names. The original battleground map will now be referred to as Assault, and the new will be called Convoy. With the release, the war games options for these maps will be limited, similar to the first war games mentioned maps were introduced. Love this. So war games is basically getting more game modes, which is actually perfect. And when we start hosting more of these events here on the channel, maybe we can do some of those modes this time around. We have some social improvements. You can now use the @ symbol to tag friends directly within chats. Note this is not supported in world, area, nearby, or recruitment channels. New privacy settings. New option has been added that allows players to turn off private messages and @ mentions. And cross-server chat optimization. After a game concludes, cross-server chat will automatically merge into a team chat channel. All right, cool. I like that they're trying to do more social. And quick access to unread messages. A new quick access entry has been added for unread messages. All right, set item crafting changes. We're making a change to reduce some of the clutter caused by fabled wisps and now many different materials the set item crafting system has. I have fabled wisps from freaking years ago that are just there. These changes include introducing a new material called Fabled Wisp, okay, which has no difficulty attached to it. Fabled Wisp is a universal material that will be used to craft lower difficulty set items. On December 17th, when we released the new Inferno Fabled Wisps from 10 through 12, Fabled Wisps and Inferno will now exist. You'll receive an in-game message that automatically converts all Fabled Wisps from Hell 1 through Inferno 6 in your inventory to the new Fabled Wisps. The new Universal Fabled Wisp can be converted up into Fabled Wisps in Inferno 8 at the rate of 7-to-1, which is the same rate we have right now. Any older Fabled Wisps can be deleted if you choose. We do not have any options for them and will never have a purpose. So I can clean up everything that I have all there. Man, that is a lot coming to this update. Went through all of it here. The only thing I didn't go through in depth were those new essences. Let me know what you think. I think we have a pretty solid one here. I do have at least one live stream planned for this week. You may see me more beyond that. If you want to make sure you don't miss them, make sure you subscribe. I live stream both here on YouTube as well as over on Twitch. I appreciate you guys so much through everything that's been going on. Hope you have a great day and are looking forward to this update. Remember, save your things until Wednesday.